Okay, let's get this started. My hair's sticking out, kind of looks like I'm trying to be like a Pokemon trainer or something. I choose you, Peekapoo! Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to Brian's World, where you can be a welcome member of the finer things, and let's just get into it. So today I wanted to talk about a small passion that I've been able to develop over the past couple of years. So growing up, I would casually watch the NBA. My favorite player growing up at that time was Dwayne Wade, and then as I kept getting older, it started to turn into Kobe and the Lakers, and then just from then on, I would just always somewhat watch the NBA. Not super in-depth or anything, but I'd always put some eye to it. At one point in middle school, I used to hate LeBron, but now I just have to appreciate his greatness and just know the fact that he's an all-time great. And once I started playing basketball for myself a couple of years ago and taking it more seriously, that just made me love watching the game even more. One of the things I love about watching the NBA is I love studying certain players, such as Kyrie or Kobe, and seeing what I can add to my own game and see how I can always grow and improve as a player. I am not good, by the way. But recent news this past offseason has brought a lot of crazy, a lot of shock, and for me, a lot of disappointment. But this one player signing this past offseason has really did it in for me to realize how much of a waste of time it is to watch the NBA anymore. With DeMarcus Cousins signing with the Golden State Warriors, it just made me realize that there's no point in watching the NBA. But let me elaborate on why. So, here are three reasons why I'm personally done watching the NBA. Let's get into it. Number one, the game has become way too predictable. Now, what do I mean by the NBA is too predictable now? You know what the outcome at the end of the season is going to be. You know the outcome of specific games. You know where certain players are going to go just because they put it out there. It just, you know what teams are going to be in the playoffs. And then at that point, you know that at the end of the day, the finals are going to be the Cavs and the Warriors. That was what it was like for the past 3 to 4 years. And even more in general, you know that LeBron was going to show up in the finals no matter what team he would be on. When LeBron signed with the Lakers, I wanted to put good money on the fact that maybe he could get past the Warriors now, being in the West. But now that DeMarcus signed with the Warriors, there's no way. And even going back to the NBA as a whole, not specific teams, you know that half of that league tanks every year just to try to get higher picks in the lottery in the next offseason. The fact that we have to say that specific teams will tank just takes the whole point of watching the game away from me. Number two, what is number two? Number two, there's no more parity in the league. Now, what do I mean by there's no more parity in the league? There's no more equal competition anymore. There's not as much equal competition. There's not as much of an equal playing field for all the teams to have an okay or a better chance of competing for a playoff contention. Like the fact that you can always predict the top 8 teams in each conference to go to the playoffs every year, it kind of irks me a little bit. For me, I really like underdog stories, and so when the Mavs made a crazy run back in 2011 and won the chip back then, it made me excited to know that these kind of upsets can happen. But in the current state that the NBA is in, we all know who's going to be where, what team's going to be where, and even worse, we know what teams just don't have a chance. And the first 2 points I brought up brings me to my final point. Number 3, it's just not fun. Now, this elaborates on the first 2 points, like I said, but the fact that I'm sitting at my desk watching an NBA game and just kind of being almost brain dead about it while watching it makes me realize that the game's not fun anymore. And with certain moves that I've seen, such as the DeMarcus Cousins signing with the Warriors, it just when I know almost a year from now who is gonna win the NBA Finals, like, what's the point? Now, this comparison will obviously seem a little biased because I live in Seattle. When it comes to the NFL, I'm a Seahawks fan, and obviously I want the Seahawks to win every year. I want them to be in the playoffs every year, be successful. But I'm also realistic in understanding that other teams have made good runs and good choices in their offseason in the past couple of years, and there are certain teams that kind of came out of nowhere. But when it comes to the NBA, we know who's going to stay sucking. That's what she said. And we know who's going to stay on top. And at this rate and at the current state that the NBA is in, it feels like it's going to be that way forever. And so for me, I'm going to opt out. And that's going to about wrap it up. Those are the 3 reasons why I'm done watching the NBA, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Are you guys done watching the NBA after everything that happened? What are your thoughts on just all these off-season choices that teams and players are making? Leave your comments and thoughts down below, and I'll try to get back to them as quick as I can. But with all that being said, thanks so much for watching, and if you haven't yet, go ahead and like this video. Also subscribe if you haven't. If you have an Instagram, you can go ahead and follow me on IG at @OhIt'sBrianLee. I'll leave a link down below. Again, this is Brian's World, where you can be a welcome member of the finer things, and I'll catch you guys next time.